Hi there, good evening. My name is Elliot Paulson, and this is an episode of Bridge the Gap. This evening, I want to talk to you guys about balance, because balance is the solution to chaos. I'll say that again. Balance is the solution to chaos. If a boat is on the ocean and the boat is about to turn over, the waves will calm themselves down so the boat doesn't turn over. But if the waves don't calm themselves down, the boat will turn over. So life provides us with these circumstances and these situations, and it's up to us to distinguish how we can balance them out. How can we provide the other half to this situation? Because that is what's going to provide serenity and calmness. Because when you're in calmness, you're in balance, and when you're in balance, you're in calmness. Most of the time, if not all the time, you can't see what would provide you with this level of balance because you're inside it, or you're too close, or you haven't been able to pause and see the situation for what it is. This is the easiest example I can give you. If I put my hand this close to my face, I can't see my entire hand. I have to step back and look at it for what it is, and then I can start to distinguish if it is missing something, if I need to provide something to it. So if you're in a circumstance, or in a situation, or in a relationship, and it seems like it's not in balance, if it feels like it's in chaos, pause and step back and look at it for what it is. And then you start to distinguish what it is that this circumstance, this situation, this relationship, it needs to balance it out. A few examples is that if you needed to get paid more, don't look at the amount that you're getting paid, look at the work you're doing to get paid. Or if you're in a relationship with a partner and it seems like the partner is doing this or that, or there's some discomfort in this relationship, don't look at them, look at yourself, look at the relationship's other half. Or if you want to travel, don't look at how to get to the other environments, look at why you're still in the one that you're in. Look at what's keeping you where you are. And then you start to understand this balance, and you start to unravel this whole new understanding of what it is that this circumstance or this place or this thing needs. See, the thing is that when a situation or a circumstance is out of balance, the result of that people, place, thing, relationship, environment, it is not beneficial whatsoever. There's no real value that is taken out of it. I'll give you an example. If you were to buy a house and the house was, let's say, $100,000, and the bank said, we'll give you $50,000, and you say, okay, well, I'll match your $50,000, I'll balance your $50,000 with $10,000. Now you have this $60,000 to this $100,000. Well, guess what? You're not getting the house. There's this inability to make this connection, not because there's a lack of understanding, but because there's a lack of balance. When you can start to understand what's happening, and you can start to see these pieces and these parts for what they are, you start to have a more broadened perspective of what it is that this need to encompass or embody or have within it. One of the best ways, and probably the, let's say, simplest, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's the simplest way to balance out a circumstance is to take responsibility for it. When you take responsibility for a situation, first you balance it. That's the initial outcome of any circumstance. Let's say you're doing poor at a job. You say, I'm going to take responsibility for these actions. I'm going to balance it out. Let's say this relationship is kind of getting a little curvy, a little off the rails. I'm going to take responsibility for it. I'm going to balance it out. Let's say I want to go to these places, but I don't have my finances in order. I'm going to take responsibility for my finances, and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to take responsibility for it. I'm going to balance it out. Excuse me. So that's the initial outcome of taking responsibility and balancing out a situation. But the true value that is created when you balance out a circumstance, when you take responsibility for a circumstance, is you become to have this level of empowerment. You start to have this level of accomplishment that couldn't be fulfilled if there was chaos going on. See, the empowerment, it fuels itself just as a lack of empowerment fuels itself. If a circumstance is out of balance and it's in chaos and there's this havoc going all throughout it, there is no feeling of accomplishment. There is no feeling of clarity. There's no feeling of understanding. And those are all feelings and situations that give us a level of significance and value. So without this calmness and without this understanding and without this accomplishment, there's no value. There's no significance. There's no fulfillment. And that fuels itself. Then you have no fulfillment and no significance, and you start to have no calmness and no understanding and no accomplishment, and it starts to fuel itself. And just as that fuels itself, in the same respect, accomplishment fuels itself. Taking responsibility fuels itself. Having an understanding fuels itself. Once I feel accomplished in one area of my life, I start to feel accomplished in another, and I start to feel empowered, and I start to believe in myself, and I start to have this understanding that, you know what, I can do these things. I can accomplish that. And it fuels itself. So when you start to have this level of balance in your life, when you start to have these understandings of what is this circumstance, what does this situation need, you really start to embody a level of empowerment that couldn't have been felt or created in any other sense or any other way. So through going out your day, through going out into circumstances and situations, if they start to cause you chaos, or if they start to give you a level of confusion or misunderstanding or any negative feeling, step back and look at it for what it is and start to identify what this circumstance, this situation, this person, this place, this thing needs. I'm going to make another video that really goes in depth about how to distinguish what it is that you individually need and will really fulfill and thrive in. But for right now, just think about how to balance out a circumstance. Excuse me. And the final point I'm going to make is that when you step back and you look at a circumstance, a person, a place, or a thing, an environment, anything, all of that is over here. It's over out there. It's outside of you. So in almost all cases, to balance out anything outside of you, you're going to want to look internally. Usually it's not the circumstance, the person, the place, or the thing, or the event that's happening that's causing pain. It's the way that I'm responding to it. It's my interaction with it. It's the way that I'm understanding it. So when I can understand my part and I can balance my part to the circumstance, the situation, the place, the thing, the event, however have you, you start to instantly have this level of empowerment and this level of taking ownership for who you are in the environment, in the relationship, in the circumstance, becomes so propelling and so fueling. All of a sudden you're a part of a whole new environment, and you're part of a whole new circumstance and environment and relationship. And that's really the key. It's really about having new experiences and having a new outcome and a new relationship. So go out and find balance within your life by stepping back and seeing how you can create the equilibrium in any circumstance, people, place, or a thing. If there's confusion, bring understanding. If there's a lack of love, bring compassion. If there's fear, bring courage. Be the other half. Be the relationship that you wish there was. And the relationship that you wish there was will be created. So this has been an episode of Bridging the Gap. I really hope that you guys enjoyed what I had to say. Please drop a like or a comment. I'm so grateful that you guys got to listen and I got to speak with you. Thank you again, and my name's Elliot Paulson.